Greetings everyone, Ray Landis here with another guitar adventure. Today I want to share with you something that has, I think, satisfied my curiosity about Firefly guitars. And most people, they're raving about the Firefly and the cost-effective way to get a really great guitar. I've actually got a different thought about some of their guitars, and I didn't really like the FFST that I got, and I took mine apart. This is the body. You can see it's a little bit different than it was. This is the body of my FFST, and then this is what came from the electronics and the neck of my FFST. And now I've got two guitars that were originally one Firefly FFST. Now, you might be asking, why in the world did I want to take my Firefly apart and make two other guitars out of it? Well, for one, the way that it was, I didn't feel I could connect to it, and it just had a lot of little challenging things that made it just hard for me to play. Even though it technically was a good guitar, it just didn't feel friendly to me. The neck is amazing. This neck is one of the nicest necks that I've ever played on. And if you've seen my other video about the original Firefly that this was, you would see a stark contrast. I took the neck markers off that I originally put on, and I switched them to something similar to what you might see on a PRS with the birds. I really like this because it makes it easy for me to play on the darker colored neck. Nice dots on top. I've talked about this in in the other video. But one of the things that really made it hard for me to play that original Firefly configuration was the weight of the body, and just the way that it just felt when I picked it up. I wanted a maple neck, and they didn't have any available. In fact, most of the Fireflies that I've seen on the Guitars Garden website, they have some sort of a dark colored neck. Usually it's going to be a rosewood or something of that sort. So what I did here is I took the original neck and I tried it on a Stratocaster body. And I got this body from Guitar Fetish, GFS. It's one of the XGP bodies. It's got the open cavity for the tremolo, which I ended up on this particular one putting a Fender Player Plus Series 2-point trem on this guitar. So this tremolo is different from the Firefly tremolo, but as you can see, I've decked it. The original Firefly did not have very good tuning stability. I tried everything. I wanted it to float. I liked the fact that it was a pop-in tremolo. I just couldn't get it to stay in tune. It would just continually go out of tune. And I'm a stickler for having a guitar that's definitely in tune. So this particular one has a Fender tremolo 2-point. I had to drill holes and put that tremolo system in. And I took and put a humbucker cover on top of the open humbucker. I thought that just looked a little bit better. and kept all the other electronics the same, except for, of course, it's a different pick guard. And this guitar plays and feels absolutely amazing. The neck now, it's very appealing. It just feels good, and it stays in tune. I do have the Graph Tech string trees, which aren't as necessary at this point as they would have been trying to get that other tremolo to stay in tune. And I used the same locking tuners that came on the Firefly. So what I've got here basically is the Firefly neck and the Firefly electronics, and this guitar is absolutely one of my favorites now. I'm not going to get rid of this. I'm going to keep this because it just feels and it looks really good. I mean, this guitar looks really good and it plays so nice. Nothing wrong, and there was nothing wrong with the original electronics in the Firefly. Sounded great. Locking strap buttons on here, so we've got those. But this guitar is now one of my favorites. It plays like a dream. I have no trouble with the neck markings, and this is absolutely one of my favorites. So that's where that one went. Now this one has the body and the original tremolo system. I had to get my son to print me a trem cover for the back. He put an F on it. It's a Fender branding that he printed on his 3D printer. And then I got this neck from a guy off of eBay that sells out of China. Very nice. This neck is very nice. I put the other Graph Tech string tree on it, and I had some, I think these are called canes tuners that I had off another guitar, and so these are locking tuners, and these work really well. So this guitar is now really sweet. This has got ceramic pickups in it. These are Wilkinson M series vintage voiced ceramic pickups. It's got good high quality pots and a switch that I wired myself, and it's got the original, again, the original tremolo from the Firefly. Nice kind of silvery wood tone, and now this guitar actually feels really good. And all of the things that I had trouble with overcoming to kind of connect with these guitars has now been overcome by splitting it into two guitars. Now, the big thing that I was really concerned with is that the necks would align and bolt on. But I'm here to tell you today that the Firefly necks are very standard, at least from my experience, to what you would find in a Fender spec neck. The thing I had a little challenge with, if you look at that heel joint, how it tapers down, I had to be very careful, and the two screws at the top, I had to go search out screws that were a little different than what I ended up with, because I didn't want to drill through the fretboard. And you can't tell that they're different from the head, but they are different. The diameter of the screw is a little thinner on those top two. But overall, now this guitar is really sweet, and I've got my maple neck that I wanted originally. So there it is. My Firefly FFST split into two other guitars that really play nice. So if you were ever thinking about taking a Firefly and disassembling it and using the parts, especially the neck on these guitars have amazing necks, quality and affordability that it's almost hard to match. But there it is, two really nice instruments that I do connect with, that came from one instrument that I couldn't quite connect with it, you know. It's hard to explain, you know. If you're a guitar player, you know that certain guitars, you know, you may say, wow, that's a great guitar, I want that in my collection, but it just hangs on the hook and you never take it off and play it. These two guitars now are guitars that I like to play. I think I am going to give one of them away though, so to make room for something else that I could have another guitar adventure with. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will be bringing more guitar adventures. Take care.